Hello, and welcome to the Steve and Mark Discuss podcast, where Steve selects something from the media and brings it to the table for us both to discuss. So, what have you got for me today, Steve?
Hi, people. So let's go to Dubrovna in Poland. This is an interesting story. It was reported in the Gazeta Wyborcza in a Polish newspaper. What actually happened was back in August, but it got leaked to Polish media at the beginning of this week, and it was all about a party, a bash, literally a bash, which was organised by the Catholic Church. I have to say, it was organised by the vicar of the Basilica of Saint Mary of the Angels, Father Thomas said. That was so as not to give his full name in the news report. He invited fellow clerics and a male prostitute to his apartment at the church. He had a little apartment, I think, above the church or in the church or at the back of the church, like a vicarage, like we have in England.
Yeah, presbytery. Yeah.
It says the meeting was just for sex. That's what they organised, and of course, Viagra was flowing, and other enhancement drugs were used to keep the party going. Let's just say like that. Unfortunately, the party was too much for one man, who was he was a prostitute, of course, because there were so many Catholic priests lifting the cassocks to have their way with the prostitute, and he lost consciousness. I imagine he lost his virginity as well. But anyway, and the situation got out of control. He lost consciousness, and they had to call an ambulance to rescue the poor guy. And when the ambulance arrived, the priest entered in panic, and it said in the article that the priest refused entry. Well, and that's when I laughed. That's when I laughed. And so the ambulance crew had to call the police because they knew that there was somebody there who needed help, and these priests had barred the doors, if you like. The Sosnowiec, the diocese, has launched an investigation into the orgy at the rectory. As word got out. So everybody in the town knows what happened,
Wow.
A letter was read in all the churches in the diocese, written by the Bishop Grzegorz Kazak. He was saying, Przepraszam. Przepraszam is Polish for sorry. My Polish lessons, I knew one day they'd come in handy.
Yeah, well.
And I always say za malu, za późno. Za malu, za późno, which is, for me, is too little, too late.
No.
Not
so little as the case may be, but yeah.
The priest who organised the bash was stripped of his church functions and is refusing to speak to the press. Now, I can imagine that the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence were really, really upset about this because they weren't invited to go to the party, and that's why they speak bad of the Catholic Church. I don't know. No, but seriously, the things that the Catholic Church has been accused of over the years, and they think that Pres Prasham, they think that, sorry, what is it? What is it that Elton John sings? Sorry is the loudest word.
Okay.
Hardest
word. Well, there's no more adjectives here. Um,
Over to you.
Well, as a Catholic, and I've just laughed at that, you've just condemned me to hell. Thank you, Steve. All I want to know is...
You weren't there. You weren't there.
No. Yeah, please don't hold all us Catholics. Well, please
No,
don't
no.
hold all us Catholics one for this, but
Be careful there.
yeah.
Be careful.
What I want to know is, I thought Ken Russell died years ago. This could be from a Ken Russell film, who was a Catholic as well, I may add, I believe. Good director, actually, in my opinion. But not I watch these types of films, you understand. Look, all I say is, I believe, the Catholic Church is still run by men who are vulnerable to human indulgences, temptations, call it whatever you will. I'm trying very hard not to reel off a whole load of jokes here. They're all consenting people, which, in today's world, it actually shows a quite progressive society. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not supporting it, obviously.
I thought you were trying to endorse that one.
No. I'm not. I'm trying to find a
Your seal of approval.
yeah. Yes. It's I would say that everybody's got to rise above it, but I don't think that's appropriate either. How?
I've seen that the diocese has launched an investigation, and they said they wanted to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, it's lucky the priest didn't go into a hole somewhere for a priest hole, but it's a step beyond the Dave Allen sketch, really. I'd say you couldn't make it up. There's not a lot you can really say. I think the story speaks for itself. It needs us to say it shouldn't happen. They were all consenting adults there. I think even the gentleman that was.
Well, he was paid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, you'd hope so.
The next time that the little ladies, go to the church on the Sunday, they need to give him. They'll be giving more in their offering. To cover the costs.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's another issue. Where did the money for all this come from? That's the question I'd be asking personally. What people come in and say, let's just face it. Most of the time, a priest's nightlife might be none. So this is I ain't going to hell, am I? This podcast has sent me there.
I knew in the UK. I knew a vicar.
Yeah.
But he was a Church of England vicar,
Oh, wow.
and he used to go to the pub.
Yeah, fair enough.
Of course, it was very moderate what he did at the pub. But I even stayed a couple of nights at the vicarage from time to time. Nice guy.
Yeah, look, majority of religious people are decent. Believe it or not, most Catholic priests are decent and don't partake in any activities outside religious service. These people are only human. It is the fact there's an investigation going on. It's not being hidden. Well, it can't really hide it now. It's in the public domain. It on one level, yes, it's a serious story. On another, it's actually quite amusing. Obviously, the church cannot condone anything like this, however progressive it tries to be, because It's a, I mean, when you, as you said, when you study some of the histories of the Catholic Church and the what used to go on in Florence and other places and the popes and yeah, it's a nothing burger really. I mean, if you want real, I mean, all us Catholics really know a lot more history than we say sometimes, and we're not always impressed with our popes. I mean, um, there was the Divine Comedy written in 1400s, 1400s. That was where they had the popes being hammered into the ground. And when one was done, the next one went in having their feet burnt for the sins of what had occurred. Yeah, we none of this is new. This isn't particularly shocking from other things I've read and know about, to be quite honest. I'm going to put an intellectual spin on this. Yes, you're quite right. The Catholic Church has made mistakes in the past, hopefully learns from them. It's like I said, to me, this is not, it's a story. It's not, it's not one that could break anyone. If anyone's faith is broken because of this, they don't have a faith to begin with. As I once read, I've got a book behind me called Catholicism for Dummies. Can't see it here, but yeah, very good book if you're interested in learning about the Catholic faith. Actually, even if you are Catholic, it's aimed at people outside the Catholic faith, and it does make the point about Christian teachings. What about if a priest teaches me this and then has found this? The analogy it makes is if Jack the Ripper says 2 + 2 = 4, it doesn't make that incorrect. Yeah, which is an interesting analogy, but you know what it's saying. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. But it's a.
I'd like to know what's going to happen with Father Thomas Z. You know, he might have to just give 3 Hail Marys and get transferred somewhere else, I
Or
suppose.
look, I will tell you in the Catholic Church, yes, he will be shepherded away somewhere. There are centres where they send people, priests who have fallen off or stepped away from the path. Let's just say, okay, that's what we're always told. It's a path. Okay. Yes, I know there's this thing about you can go to confession, you get given your penance. That's only part of the story. This guy is in a lot. Believe me, this guy is in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot
Well,
of
not
trouble.
only him,
Well,
because he invited fellow clerics,
well,
and they all seemed to be, and there were a lot of them. There must have been a lot of them because the male prostitute, he was buggered.
so to speak. Yeah, yeah,
Literally, rather a lot.
well,
You know,
yeah. I mean, no, I just thought of a joke. I'm not going to say because I
no,
would offend people.
no,
But yeah, it's a again. It for me, it's not something that's going to break the Catholic Church. Just like I say, we can ask for far worse than this to be taken into consideration, my lord. But um, it is a it's to be quite honest, it's what I would call, yeah. People are going to build up into it. Yeah, obviously, when you're in the faith, we think it's disgraceful as well. Um, yeah, I'm laughing about it because I don't know what else I'm really meant to do about it. I'm, I'm, it doesn't involve innocent people. Let's put it that way,
no,
and that's the
no.
saving grace behind it, so to speak.
It was a commercial transaction.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd be more worried about the where the money came to pay for all this and everything else. That'd be my main concern, not necessarily the fact it's happened. I mean, yes, um, yeah. I mean, it's when you say he's got stripped of his priestly uh, thing.
Church functions.
Yeah, so yeah, I imagine he has now. But yeah, I mean that means he'll go for somewhere where he'll have time to reflect upon, and they all will. They'll get them all. It will be that probably in that diocese there's already a well shortage of priests, which brings into another issue. Um, that it's probably very shocking for the parishioners of these dioceses, because anything happens to priests, it is,
Do you think?
yeah. He's seen as a shepherd. Do as I do, do as I say and do as I do. Yeah, well, hang on.